everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm getting ready to take my next flight out of New York City. Come along for the flight. I'm currently en route to LaGuardia Airport. Today, I'm going to be flying on an Airbus A220. It's actually my first time flying on that aircraft type, and I'm very excited about it. I'll be flying in the first class cabin on the A220 today, but I am definitely going to make sure that I take a trip to the back of the airplane to check out that lavatory with a window in it. All right, I'm approaching LaGuardia Airport, so come along with me as I fly on the A220 today. LaGuardia Airport is undergoing some massive construction these days. My A220 is going to operate out of the C terminal today, which is starting to look very different from the C terminal of 1 year ago. Don't forget to check out some of my previous videos where I showcase what's been happening on this side of the airport recently. Half of the C terminal is already gone and being rebuilt. Since I'll be flying first class on the flight today, my ride is dropping me off at door 15, which provides me with quick access to the Sky Priority baggage drop area. All right, I'm about to go check in for my flight. Come along with me. Terminal C's traffic has been picking up since the pandemic downturn, but using the Delta Sky Priority line meant that there was no wait at all for me, and my checked bag was out of my sight within minutes. From there, it was a very short walk to the TSA area where I took advantage of both pre-check and clear. Gonna get ready to fly. TSA was a breeze. There were larger crowds than I've seen recently at LaGuardia, so I thought it would be nice to head into the Delta Sky Club. Don't forget to check out my video about this Sky Club that I recently uploaded to my channel. I'm now in the Delta Sky Club in the C terminal, and I am waiting for my A220 to land. Here comes my plane, inbound from Detroit. We see it here just over a new concourse that's being built at Terminal C. It's on final approach to runway 31, flying the expressway visual runway 31 approach. Originally called the CS-100, a product of Bombardier, the type received a name change to the Airbus A220 in mid-2018 when Airbus acquired just over 50% of the program for the production of this aircraft. The A220 was built with a heavy use of composite materials, which leads to lower operating costs. The A220 uses Pratt & Whitney PG-1000G engines, which are high-bypass geared turbofan engines. Delta is the largest operator of the A220 in the entire world. Today's flight is on the original -100 version, and on this plane, Delta features 12 seats in first class, 15 seats in Comfort Plus, and 82 seats in the main cabin. There's one exit row and 2 lavatories, one of which has a window. I am quite excited about this flight today. My seat will be seat 1A in the first class cabin, which is a recliner seat with a width of 21 inches. In front of me, I'll have a bulkhead wall and a large TV screen, which features a new state-of-the-art flight tracking system. I can see the window I'll have on the plane now, just below the Delta widget. Once the current load of passengers deplane, the aircraft is going to be sanitized, restocked, and refueled, and I'll board my very first flight on one of the newest aircraft types in the world. Let's start the short trip from the Sky Club to the gate area. Masked up and ready to go. Today I'm flying out of the C terminal at LaGuardia Airport. The C terminal is actually the terminal where the Delta A220 had their initial flights. There were some early morning flights going to Boston as well as Dallas-Fort Worth, and now the A220 is flying on multiple routes. So I'm excited to be flying out of the terminal where the A220 got its start for Delta Airlines. My destination today is Minneapolis, Minnesota. This route is normally operated by an Airbus aircraft like an A319, A320, or A321, but today it's operated by the A220. Now this version of the A220 is the original version. Delta also has an extended version, the -300 series. That series is currently not flying to this airport, so I'm not going to be able to fly on that today, but I'm excited to fly on the original A220. This terminal is really crowded today. Now, Delta is boarding from the rear forward, and first-class passengers are allowed to board during any time that they want. I actually think I'm going to board at the very beginning because I kind of want to get out of this terminal because there are a lot of people here. I am really looking forward to the new LaGuardia coming soon. All right, I'm the first on board on the Delta A220. Here we go. Hello.
How are you, sir? Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome.
After a lot of anticipation, I've made it aboard the A220. What a great interior, and that's some nice mood lighting. This is a cool airplane. It's always a great feeling to board any airplane for me, and it's just thrilling when you get to fly on something new. Beautiful new seats and lots of extra space make up this first-class cabin. Check out the size of the window, huge. I'm gonna open it up. Not much to see right now because I got the jet bridge here, but I'll have a great view soon. With the seat next to me empty, I had two very large TV screens all to myself. I used the sanitizing wipe the flight attendant gave me to wipe the screen down as an added level of precaution. Since I'm on an airplane about to experience the thrill of flight, I am not interested in watching a movie. I want to be able to check out the brand new Airshow flight tracker as well as look out the window. I have to say, I'm already very impressed with this aircraft. There's plenty of legroom in the first row on the A220, and Delta has actually removed the in-flight magazine due to the pandemic, and that mood lighting is a great shade of blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, our boarding door is now closed. You may continue to use mobile devices as long as they're set to airplane mode. Federal regulations.
We're all set to go, and the jet bridge is about to pull back so I can get a great view out the window. Whoa! What is going on here? The window is obscured. I just realized what happened. I chose seat 1A, and on some planes, the jet bridge leaves marks on the first window on the left side of the plane, making it hard to see out the window. I'm not excited about this at all. I have a lot of videos I want to take. This is not going to be easy. There's nothing I can do about it. Here's the pushback. I'll turn my attention now to the TV screen to watch the safety video.
From providing vital needs to vital workers, to sharing smiles, even if they're a little harder to see.
We believe it takes all of us to climb.
That the actions of one can lift us all.
To our entire Delta family, everywhere around the world, thank you.
We began our taxi to runway 4, and one thing that I noticed is that the angle at which the sun hits the window has an effect on how bad the marks on the window show up. The taxi to the runway and flight itself will include different directions, so from time to time, it should be easier to see out the window than other times. One thing that I noticed was that the window seat on the other side, 1D, had two windows as opposed to my one window, and they were both clean. You can see things are a little bit better in this view because we're turning a corner and the sun is on the other side of the airplane now. I was able to get some nice footage of the number 1 engine, which is one of two Pratt & Whitney 1000G engines. It's a high bypass geared turbofan engine. The engine type has been in use since 2016 when it was installed on an Airbus A320neo. It's quiet and it reduces noise. From here, we also get a great view of the winglets on this A220. This is a very well engineered aircraft and a welcome addition to Delta's domestic market. We are number 1 for takeoff on runway 4. Despite the struggle to find a good angle for the camera, I am very much enjoying being on this aircraft type. We're now crossing one of the 2 hold bars for runway 4, and we're going to line up and wait for takeoff clearance from LaGuardia Tower. We're now rolling on runway 4. This 7,000-foot runway heads northeast, and we will fly runway heading initially before turning to the northwest. This is an afternoon departure and the sun is in the west casting rays on the window, so I'm just going to speed this part up. Alright, I'll slow this down for a moment so you can hear the sound of the engines on departure. Alright, let's go back to fast forward. If you were able to tell from the footage out the window, we started a left turn, and the outstanding 3D air show shows the turn in real time. I think I'm going to be on this screen for a while. Not only does the air show depict where you are, it shows the planned route of flight in 3D view. There are so many ways to view your flight on the map, as well as receive data about things like altitude, speed, heading, and more. This view is like looking at a heads-up display right in the flight deck. This is pretty cool. At this point, I decided to try to take another look out the window, and things actually did get a little bit better due to the position of the sun. But I still did want to take the time to explore everything that the air show had to offer. Look at all the options. The first class seat on the Delta A220 is comfortable and spacious. There are 2 levels to rest your drink on and a button to press to get the seat to recline. I don't think I've ever seen a drink holder in that position before. The overhead units were standard and easy to use. There was a personal reading light as well as an air conditioning duct. The tray table is located in the armrest and it folds out very nicely in front of you. All passengers receive this snack bag, and first class passengers receive a snack box, so I am now preparing my tray table by sanitizing it. I had 2 choices to pick from, and I chose this one, the Delta Flight Fuel Market Snack Box. These are the contents of this box. It was a mix of savory and sweet food, and everything was individually wrapped due to the ongoing pandemic. The box on this flight was definitely larger than the boxes that I've had in my previous flights during the pandemic. I didn't take anything to drink except a bottle of water. And here's another unsuccessful attempt of me trying to look out the window. Note the 2 windows on the other side of the airplane as opposed to the 1 window that I had on the A side. I am now at the back of the plane because I know a place where I will be able to successfully see outside. One of the rear lavatories. It's literally a loo with a view. This is a first for me. There's a window in the lavatory. How cool is that? I was eager from the very beginning to check out this lavatory, and it was especially exciting for me considering the window that I had at my seat. Now, this being a lav, I really had limited time here, but it was refreshing to be able to clearly see out. And the window really helped with the ambiance of this lavatory. The lav is quite small, but windows, as they always do, help open up a space, making the space seem a lot larger than it actually is. If you're flying on this aircraft type, I think anyone will get this feeling on any flight during the daytime hours. Look how open a window can make a small space feel. Now, there's another lavatory on the other side of this plane, as well as a first-class lavatory, but they do not have windows. While I'm back here, let's explore the rest of this A220. There's another lavatory on the other side of the aircraft, and at the back of the plane is the rear galley area. The area is very spacious and reminds me of being on a slightly larger aircraft. This includes a flight attendant seat. I'm impressed with the A220. Let's go back to the front. The main cabin and Comfort Plus area was well lit with mood lighting, and every seat had its own in-flight entertainment system with smaller screens than first class. There's lots of windows, however around the exit row, they're somewhat misaligned with the seats. The overhead bins are very large and spacious. Back in first class, you can get a good sense of just how big the monitors are compared to main cabin, and of course you can see how big the seats are. I watched some of the more great air show, and I had a nice talk with the flight attendants. I noticed that they were fluent in Italian, and knowing the language fairly well, I struck up a conversation. It turns out that they normally work flights to Italy, but due to the current COVID-19 outbreak in Italy, they've been placed on other routes. Today, they've been assigned New York to Minneapolis. Just before our descent, I wanted to see what the first-class lavatory was like. This is the first-class lav. Even with no window inside, I have to say I'm quite impressed. It's very spacious and very quiet in here. This lav was well equipped with soothing mood lighting, which I didn't see in the rear lavatory. With no window, the blue lights were a really nice touch and well positioned below the sink. The sink was well appointed with not just soap, but hand moisturizer as well. Being in a pandemic, I made sure I washed my hands again. We'll be landing soon in Minneapolis. I enjoyed this feature of the air show, a map of MSP, which is a big Delta hub. Let's start our descent to the Twin Cities.
Ensure your seatbelts fastened position, and iron armrests are in the resting position.
I'll speed up part of the arrival. We began our descent over Wisconsin on an arrival procedure from the east called the Muscle 3 arrival. Approach control will be setting us up for an approach to runway 12 left, which means we'll pass by MSP Airport and downtown Minneapolis to the northeast, then make a left turn to come back around to line up with the runway. Just like the entire flight today, the entire descent was nice and smooth. The flight was perfect, and my only complaint was the obscured window, so if you want to take great videos or photos, avoid seat 1A, and that applies to some other aircraft types too, especially smaller planes. The jet bridge is just too big for the airplane. We're now about to land on runway 12 left, which is 8,200 feet long and 150 feet wide. We'll be pulling into gate F, or Foxtrot 15, which is slightly closer to runway 12 right, but it won't be a very long taxi, and we are very ahead of schedule. We're now clear of the runway and about to join taxiway P, or Papa, to get to the terminal area. And that wraps up my flight today. It's exciting to fly in a new aircraft type, and new planes don't come into the market very often, especially for domestic flights. I enjoyed my time on board. It's now time to pull into the gate. As we come to a complete stop and the pilot applies the brakes, I am once again reminded of the reason why I had so much trouble seeing out the window. The jet bridge is here. I really hope it doesn't make the markings any worse than they are now. Farewell, A220. It was great flying on you, but next time I think I'm going to choose 1D. I hope you all enjoyed that video. Stay tuned for more experiences like this as I continue to travel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button so that you're alerted as to every time I post a new video for you.